The One Piece anime just started a new arc in the anime tonight, and as such, the anime studio gave us a new opening. And they wanted to start big, they wanted to open up with a bang, and this new opening is called Over the Top. And I could not think of a better, more fitting name for this opening for a couple reasons. Number one, in order to get to Wano, you actually have to get over the top of a waterfall. And number two, this opening went over the top with how many spoilers it showed. In fact, it went so over the top, it spoiled manga readers as well. Hiroshi Kitadani is responsible for performing this new opening, and he was also in charge of performing We Are, We Go, and We Can. So yeah, he's like the MVP of singing One Piece openings. They changed the order of the introductory chapters, so the waterfall episode came first, and I think it was a good choice. I said this in my review of the chapter, but climbing over the waterfall, that sequence, that chapter was the most Skypiea-like sequence and chapter that we've had in the series in a while now. You get a sense of adventure, of going to this brand new place that is completely different from anything we've ever seen before. And the art and the animation just changes drastically the moment we arrive. Like, you can literally pinpoint the moment that the characters cross over to Wano, because the way the water and the setting are drawn is just so different. And then you get that weird octopus guy that gets on board. And the anime made it seem, or actually made it a point to show that the octopus was sort of helping the Straw Hats, because it almost makes it seem as if he's the one in charge of commanding the koi fish, because he starts beating his head like a drum, and then these giant carp come out of the water, which, by the way, look terrifying. I mean, this is some great work. Look how ugly, how terrifying these fish look. Just super creepy, and they're huge, right? So they start heading forward, and then this old school Japanese Naruto type of music starts playing, and it just automatically got me hyped. It was a great sequence. Again, very reminiscent of Skypiea, similar to sort of like the crew riding up that knock-up stream to be able to get onto the clouds. I love the Naruto music in this. I know it's not Naruto music, but you get what I'm saying. Like, it's like, oh, that music gets me so pumped. And you know what's funny is that Komurasaki is going to be voiced by Hinata's voice actress. We also have a new series director, Tatsuya Nagamine, who's been responsible for Film Z and Dragon Ball Super Broly, the movie. And if this episode is any indication of what's to come, wow. The quality animation in this episode begins to sort of justify the massacre of the Reverie in the anime. And I want to be optimistic, but at the same time, I'm skeptical, and I'm thinking, how are they going to afford this? Like, are they going to be consistent with this type of quality every single episode of Wano? To me, that's way too much, and I've been disappointed before. So I'm optimistic, but I'm also kind of like cautious. I'm cautiously optimistic. I mean, because this was some legit movie type quality animation. It felt like it wasn't an episode of One Piece. It felt like the beginning, like the first act of a movie or something. And the episode did a fantastic job at establishing the setting along with the characters. Some of the scenes, they're just like sort of establishing scenes just to get acquainted with what's going on. But they feel so immersive because of the color palette, the art, the animation, and the attention to detail that was showcased in this episode. They really had a high quality standard for the production of this episode. And I'm really hoping that stays the same, because some of these shots were just like awesome to watch. Something as simple as like the way that the Sakura flows at night as Zoro is walking. Even the way that Zoro walks, like his mobility in this episode, the way they animated him just makes it seem like he's a normal human being, just taking a stroll at night. You know what gets me is that scene at the end where he's fighting the guys after he cuts the building with the seppuku blade, and he's just sort of like moving around. The camera's just following his movements as he's fighting. He keeps fighting people that come at him. We have final battles, final fight scenes with Luffy in One Piece, right? We have concluding fights with Luffy taking down the antagonist or the villain of the arc that are not as well animated
as that little sequence that we got in this episode with Zoro. We also got new eye catchers, and I like how the one for Luffy ends with the manga cover for the first volume of Wano. I mean, we got new everything. We got new eye catchers. We got, I mean, the themes for the characters they got Wanoized, if that makes sense.
And when it comes to the opening, the song actually gave me some very strong old school anime vibes, like Dragon Ball. It just felt very reminiscent of a past era of shonen anime openings for some reason. And then you have Kaido coming down from the sky looking like Shenron, so maybe that's why I made the connection with Dragon Ball. It felt old school in like a good way. But ultimately though, this opening is full of spoilers. I mean, hardcore spoilers, to the point where I started thinking, how long is this opening going to last? Because there's some things from Act 2 of Wano. We got Sanji's raid suit, which, by the way, I know it's a spoiler, but that's my favorite part of the opening. Man, does that suit look dope. So we got Sanji's suit, we got to see Yasu as well. We even got to see the Bridge Keeper. So again, all of these things are Act 2 spoilers for Wano. And when it came to Act 1, we got Kaido's dragon form, we got Kumurasaki, we saw Kid. I'm surprised they didn't show Drake in page 1. But we also got Queen and King in this. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe this is the first official color scheme that we get to see for King, right? I don't think his color scheme had been confirmed prior to this. Come to think of it, even the fact that the opening starts off with Luffy in prison could be considered a spoiler. One wish. There's a moment where the opening just kind of opens up a little screen and shows you images or scenes from the episode that you're about to watch. And they actually kind of used the same technique during Superpowers when the Reverie started, to show like scenes of the upcoming episode. And speaking of the Superpowers opening, when it comes to spoilers, like despite this opening having a ton of them, I would much rather have openings like this that show everything to you up front than the superpower kind where like characters are shaded or they're silhouetted, right? They're in shadow, and then they take a while until they show the character, and then it's like, oh, this is the character. It's like I already know. Like again, Superpowers had Snake Man covered up, and so it's like if you're gonna spoil something like that, don't tease it. Spoil it with confidence, like this opening did. But anyhow, now we have to talk about the manga spoiler that was in the anime opening.
So after the Straw Hats get shown in the opening wearing the Wano outfits and stuff, the introductory portion of the opening is over. Zoro jumps into the air and slices it, and then we get these still shots, which at first I thought, whatever, like I guess my mind filtered out the meaning of it, but then I rewatched it a couple times, and I was like, oh, I know what they're doing. Oh, wow, okay, I guess we're going with this. So essentially, we start off with Kinemon, a shot of Kinemon and Okiku, and in the background, that's clearly Kawamatsu. So we get those three, followed by a shot of Shutenmaru / Ashura Doji, and then in the background, there's Kyoshido, whatever, right? I mean, who cares? Then we go on to the next shot, and it's the dog and the cat, Nekomamushi Norashi, and then the still shots end with a shot of Raizo and Kanjiro. Now, if you count those are 9 characters, right? In the manga, currently we know 8 of the 9 red scabbards. So it's clear to me, and it just dawned on me, like I felt like an idiot because I didn't notice it the first time. The opening just spoiled the manga, essentially. Kyoshido, by method of elimination, Kyoshido being included in those stills has to confirm the fact that Kyoshido is in fact Denjiro, one of the 9 red scabbards.
I want to say that getting the revelation this way isn't that big of a deal. To me, it's not, personally, because I think some of us suspected that this would be the case, that Kyoshido would be like one of the 9 red scabbards. But I think it's just going to come down to how Oda reveals it in the manga. Because here's the thing, if there's a chapter that revolves around Kyoshido, and the only cliffhanger or the only plot twist that we get in that chapter is the fact that Kyoshido is actually Denjiro, then it's going to be like, yeah, we kind of knew because we saw the anime opening. But if that's just a fraction of the chapter, right? Or if that's just like a small part of the chapter and there's even like more bigger and crazier things happening, then this is perfectly all right. So there you have it, guys. We got spoiled. I think this was an act of payback from the anime department for all those times us manga readers have spoiled things for the anime only. What can I say? It's karma. It got us back, and it came in the shape of an anime opening this time. Great episode, fun opening. Thanks a bunch for watching. Like the video if you did. Subscribe to my channel if you haven't done so already for more One Piece related videos. Comment down below with your thoughts about the episode and the anime opening, and I will catch you guys later. Take care. Bye.